Hey, comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer. Get ready to bring you Countdown episode number 87. That's right, fans. This is the show where Mike Spider Slayer counts down his worst comic of the week all the way to pick number one. Now, this week, fans, we have a total of 17 books altogether. So there's a lot to talk about. There's two digital copies that I read. So with that being said, let's just jump into this countdown now, shall we? All right, first book that is the worst book of the week out of 17 books, which is pretty low on the list, and that's going to go to Earth 2 World's End issue number 11. Um, I'm just not digging this series, and I'm really considering dropping it. Um, but I'm almost afraid to drop it because I'm afraid that I might be lost altogether if I drop it going into Convergence. Um, the whole thing with this issue is we get Darkseid, who is been unleashed by Mr. Terrific, and that's what we get to see in this particular issue. And what happens is we get to see a lot of betrayal in here. We have Big Barda that betrayed Fury and Mr. Terrific and everybody else. And then what happens throughout this issue, Mr. Terrific winds up getting captured, and Fury winds up joining Apocalypse, but then she changes her mind again and winds up going and betraying Darkseid's people and then freeing Mr. Terrific, and it was just like this back and forth type of game. The artwork in the issue I didn't care for either. There was okay facial expressions at times, but Fury just looked like the focal point on this issue was mainly about Fury. I thought a lot, and I did not like the way she was drawn. I get that she's Amazon, but she's just like too manly like, and it's like you might as well have just drawn her completely naked in this issue. I just didn't like the way she was drawn in here, and in the way she looked, and her facial expressions. For some reason, it just didn't do anything for me in here. I just didn't get very much out of this particular issue. It just felt very generic and just cheesy to me. Even the fitting last page here, I just didn't like it. So, and I'm just not a fan of this World's End series, at all. So it's very disappointing. So after reading that, I gave that a 2 out of 5. All right, moving forward now, we're going on to number 16. And number 16 was New 52 Futures End, issue number 33. Now, just like the last book, I'm not a huge fan of it, mainly because Futures End has decent stories in here. Maybe not all of them, but there's too much story going on, and it's constantly always changing. And when you get into a story, it always abruptly ends, and you don't know when you're going to see it again. And this issue, it opens up with Stormwatch and what's going on with Father Time in here, and we get to see that Father Time possesses this little girl or whatnot, and Raymond Palmer winds up going into her actual mouth, and you get to see what Father Time is. It's like this crazy, ugly creature that's attached to the little girl's brain. So that's kind of, I was like, whoa, that's weird. I'm like, that's kind of sick. And then you get to see some other story going on with 50 Sue, her wearing the mask of Deathstroke. And then you get to see a little bit of Terry McGinnis and Plastique, and Terry McGinnis is searching around for Brother's Eye to see if it's around, and it hasn't been around. The artwork in this issue too was different, not as consistent as I would like it to be, as how it was in the past. Um, Also, throughout this issue, you wind up finding out that Brother's Eye has made it from Catamus Island into the United States, and they just haven't known yet because you get to see the little rays going all the way throughout the city and everything else, and it had to do with Lois's phone. So I thought that was a pretty interesting part in the actual issue, also. Um, and then that's, I guess, how Brother's Eye starts to take over, because I guess it is going to take over the Plastique creature that was teleported over. And then we get to see some cool moments in here again with Firestorm and Jason. And I thought the artwork was all right in this part of the issue. So yeah, there is some good moments in Future's End this time around. And to give it a 3.0 rating. And if there's some stories here you like them, and there's others you leave them. So, and that's how Future's End kind of is for me. So, yep, 3 out of 5 stars. All right. Next is number 15. And number 15 this week I was a little disappointed in because I really liked the last issue of it. And this time around, it had to be Scarlet Spider's issue number 2. Um, this book was an average book for me. It was 3 stars. The artwork was pretty cool when it had to do with Scarlet Spider and Jessica Drew and everybody else. But then when it came to like the Flash, you know when he came the Human Torch, what did I say, Flash? Johnny Storm, when he became the Human Torch, it's just like you couldn't make him out on here, and I was just like, whoa, what's going on here? They're doing this weird battle, and you can't even see what he's like. It was just awkward. And then throughout the entire issue, you just came across some random scientist guy that's trying to help them penetrate the base. That's what they're trying to get to, the central hub, to try to stop this whole cloning process that's happening that Gen X is creating from the inheritors. And I didn't find it very climactic. I found it very boring. Pretty much the same thing going through the entire issue. Again, there was nothing here that really got me excited about the next issue because it was very predictable. They get to the end, they get to the central hub, and then what happens is they meet up with Gen X. So there was nothing really there that really excited me to be like, oh my God, I can't wait to see what happens. And I will be getting the next issue, obviously, because I do want to see what happens and see if they stop this cloning facility so they don't clone these inheritors anymore. But this was nothing here that was really special this time around. And I didn't find as much humor as I did in the last issue. I think maybe this one had to focus around Kane more. That could have been part of the reason too. So after reading this one again, I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. All right, so next we're going to go on to number 14. And number 14 on this week's countdown was Spider-Woman issue number 2, another Spider-Verse tie-in. Same thing, this was an average issue. You could take it or leave it. You don't really need to read this to find out, what Spider-Verse is all about. But one of the things that gets me in this issue, why I didn't like it as much as I should have, is the setting and where Jessica was in this actual issue. I thought she was just in some weird setting. It had to do with reminded me of Pirates of the Caribbean setting, and in this alternate universe, she comes across her alter ego self, where the only difference is she's not wearing a mask, and we get to see those lovely teeth that Mr. Land draws with his characters. And the funny thing is how did they not know it wasn't her? Because the other Jessica, the evil Jessica or the bad Jessica, doesn't wear a mask. And this time she wears a mask, so they didn't question her about, oh, why are you wearing a mask? And she plays along or what's going on, but I've never felt really the reason why she was actually there. Silk is on the run; she's in a different Earth, and I really didn't enjoy this issue that much. But the only thing that really saved it for me is that the evil Jessica in this particular Earth, we wind up seeing is that she kisses Moreland. So her and Moreland are a item. And one of the other things I wasn't crazy about was how does he not know that it's the real Jessica of that Earth? So I wasn't really sure what was going on there. So everything was I was a little confused about why did this happen or why did this happen? How does he know that this is her and he doesn't know that this is her? And I just felt like they were all too stupid to figure out what was going on, even though she's got this pheromone that kind of dilutes everything. Also, you get to find a revelation that Silk goes into this Earth that is nuclear war fully irradiated, so she's hiding from them in this weird Earth too. So weird stuff here that went on in this particular issue, but kind of a cool cliffhanger. So it's like I need to find out what's happening there. So after reading it, I gave it a 3 out of 5. You don't need to actually read it to follow the main universe or the main storyline. All right. So going forward now, we go on to number 13, and number 13 is Access, issue number 8. Take Access for what it is, guys. It's another average book. It's an uneventful event for me. I don't know what the ramifications are going to be for Access. And, the one thing I can give you with Access every week is that even though there's different artists on the book, I feel that the artwork is really well done in these issues. And there's great colors in here, and there's lots of action. So if you like action, you like battles, you like fights, you love all kinds of, all that kinds of stuff, you're going to get it in Access. You're going to get it. I constantly say that every time I talk about this. One of the best pages in here, Absorbing Man doing battle against Apocalypse. It's just epic. I loved it. I loved it. This is a great page too. So you gotta give it up for Access, creating this wonderful action and artwork. But this feels like a cheap summer blockbuster popcorn flick for me, and that's what Access really is. Because in this issue again, I didn't get anything out of it. The only thing I wound up getting out of it this time is that the bomb that Apocalypse set to destroy mankind or whatnot did not go off, thanks to the great efforts of Carnage. He sacrificed himself. Basically, that's the way it seems. He wrapped himself around the bomb. This is the way it looked. The bomb goes off, boom, and it looks like from here, no more Carnage. And Carnage has some funny dialogue saying that he wants to be remembered in some crazy memorial, which I thought was funny. But then after that, again, it just became this complete big out brawl. And then by the time you get to the end, the very end of this issue, we find out that Jarvis never really, or Red Skull never escaped in the issue. Jarvis just used this stealth device, and Iron Man wound up sending out, I think it was Falcon, to go after Captain America to retrieve the Red Skull, and it looks like old Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson are going to be doing battle against each other, and you get to see Captain America in this cybernetic type of suit with the hologram shield. So we'll see what that's all about. I don't know what's going to happen there. So obviously, again, a summer blockbuster type of popcorn flick. That's what it is. That's what it reminds me of. So after reading it, I give Access issue number 8 a 3 out of 5. All right, so going forward now, we're going to go on to number 12, and number 12 is All New X-Men, issue number 34. I'm not a huge fan of All New X-Men right now with this storyline, because for the past 3 issues now, I feel like it's kind of the same thing. That we've been getting. We've been getting all of our X-Men here, the young X-Men, traveling to different parts, and we get to see their little experience in their particular timeline or Earthline or whatever you want to call it. And it's been the same thing, same exact thing. We get to see Jean Grey meet up with which is the Ultimate X-Men, and we get to see her interact with her other self. So those were the good moments there. At times, the artwork was pretty good in here. I liked the 2-page spread in the beginning of this book. It was really well done to see the two Jeans see each other live. So I thought that was well done. But then after that, I felt that the issue started to lag a little bit. You get the Bobby moments in here, which were okay, trying to defeat Mole Men's creatures. And he has lack of powers because it's really hot where he's at. And then the art starts to decline for me a little bit. You get to see 2 pages of X-23 and Angel together. While there was no color, I didn't quite understand what was going on exactly there, unless the lights were out in there. I guess that's what happened. Don't care about Beast's interactions with Doctor Doom because all he cries about that he's in love with Jean Grey, and it was just the artwork got cartoony and inconsistent at this point. And I found myself not caring towards the end of it because it was just it just keeps going back and forth. It almost reminds me of like a World's End type of thing where it goes to one character, to one character, to one character, to one character, and then we don't see what happens until the next issue. So I just feel like this is a kind of a cheap way of dragging this story arc out. So I'm not sure where we're going to go with all this. Their whole thing is to find this mutant that sent them to all these different places. They got to try to find them to get them all back. So what happens with this, I'm not sure. But I just thought, for me at least, for the first time in a while, this was an average issue. So I gave this one a 3 out of 5. All right, so moving forward now, we're going to go on to number 11, and number 11 is Guardians of the Galaxy, issue number 22. Guardians of the Galaxy, last issue was really creepy, dark for me, with Flash Thompson not in control of his symbiote. You can see that it was trying to do battle against Gamora. They wind up capturing the suit, and the suit escapes, and it winds up going after Groot. And when I saw it go after Groot, I was in fear of where the direction this second issue would go. And after reading it, I was 100% right. I was disappointed with it because I wanted it to keep on this path that had to do with Flash Thompson and find out where the symbiote actually came from this issue. Maybe they go to the planet where it came from, because that's what I thought we were getting in this issue, but we didn't get that. Instead, what happens is the issue is filled with a bunch of all kinds of things where it attaches itself to different hosts. And I think when it does that, it kind of takes away from the that nostalgia of what Venom is and what it represents. And at this point, it's just going from person to person, and I don't kind of care for that. But the story had to do in the beginning with them, with these people, this planet Spartax nominating Peter Quill as what could be your next president. And so that's how that opens up. And then it jumps into the whole story with, the symbiote taking over Groot. And I felt in the last issue, I was like, well, what's the purpose of it? What's the purpose? Just to see what the Venom symbiote would look like on Groot and Rocket and Drax? I mean, honestly, that's what they did in this issue. We get to see them. They're trying to contain the symbiote because it's escaped, and they've all been failing, and it goes to different hosts. The the issue does a great job at showing things from like the movie, what Peter Quill's generation, what like the things that he has, like the Walkman. They show it in there. They wind up showing the troll, and they wind up showing the Rubik's cube. So they kind of stay true to the movie in that aspect. They try to do too much over the top type of talking and cursing in their language, which I didn't care for. But again, you get to see, the artwork is pretty good. I like the artwork. But again, you get to see them fight the symbiote throughout the issue. There was a Double Dragon hidden video game in there. So if you caught those Easter eggs, you're going to appreciate that. But again, you get to see Groot get attacked, get captured by the symbiote. And then by the time you get to the end of the issue, you wind up seeing Drax is the next one that gets captured by the symbiote. And it's kind of just like, okay, what's the point of it? Like, I get you got to try to capture this symbiote and everything, but we obviously have to see it take possession off of everybody. I don't know. I feel like it's a filler part of the issue, a lack of progression where, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy constantly has in its series itself. There's lots of progression. Like, what's the point of Guardians of the Galaxy? Where are they going? Like, what is the point here? So, I don't know. We'll see. And hopefully the story gets a little bit more in depth. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for in this. So, again, after reading that one, I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars because for a lot of people, it could be fun. It could be a really fun type of issue if you're just not looking so much into it. Okay, so next we're going to go forward and we're going to go into our top 10. And our top 10 book, which I'm really disappointed in, not that it was a bad book, but compared to other books, it's usually top tier. And it's not this time around for me. It's Miles Morales, Miles Morales, The Ultimate Spider-Man, issue number 8. I thought this issue uh, you know, was good in a way because it focuses around Miles's dad. Miles just got reunited with his father, Jefferson, uh, for the first time since Cataclysm, since he revealed his secret. And I thought that we were going to get into we got into a deep story, but I didn't expect this, to see it go back 25 years ago and see how Jefferson was recruited by Shield, which I think is interesting, which I think is good. But the thing that didn't fit it for me was their flashback. Their flashback, and the artwork is always done by Dave Marquez, which I really like. But the flashback really was really a dark setting. You really couldn't make out a lot of the characters on who they were, and this was a disappointment for me when it came to David Marquez's artwork. I get what he was trying to do here, but there's lots of other ways to go back in time um, to to capture that classic art that he had, that art style that he has, and I just really feel that he didn't do it here. And I just felt myself getting lost again of who and which characters were. However, it was interesting to see, go that into depth with Miles's father, but there was really no other character interaction here besides just Jefferson telling his story. And I just didn't finding it as interesting as I would have liked. Now, I want to hear more of it, obviously, because the character development always helps you to get to know, you know, gets to know the character. But I just found myself a little bit disappointed. I wasn't as happy as I usually am or excited when I get done reading Ultimate Spider-Man. So after reading it, I'm giving this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars. All right, excuse me. All right, so now we're going on to our number 9 book, and I gotta get it because it's charging. And the number 9 book of the week was Batman and Robin, issue number 37. In this issue, we get to see the return of Damian, and we get to see this great battle between Darkseid and Batman. And it wasn't a unrealistic type of battle because the only way that Batman could win was use his silver shard to defeat him. And it was a really cool and fun battle. If you just like action and seeing these two guys go like toe to toe, I thought it was really well done here. And and I liked it too because we didn't see all the supporting cast. We just saw Batman, we saw Darkseid, brawl. Whoever wins winds up getting Robin, and I really liked it. And we wind up seeing him going back to um, escaping from Apocalypse, and then what happens is they retrieve Damien, and the cool thing is you get to see the reuniting between father and son, which is really nice. And for a lot of Batman and Damian fans, you're really going to like this. And then at the end, we wind up seeing Batman, you think maybe die, which obviously he doesn't, or maybe he does. And we know that Damian has powers at this point, so maybe he resurrects him this way. I thought this issue was really good. It was fun this time around. I enjoyed it compared to the last issue. My one problem with it is that the reveal, we knew that Damien was coming back, so it kind of takes away from that impact. So after reading it, I got to give it a 4 out of 5. I thought it was a really solid read, but it could have been higher if we never knew Damien was coming back in this issue. And we already know he has powers in the next issue, which I'm assuming. And so it all takes away from that surprise element that that comic really could have had. Okay, so moving forward now, we're going to move on to number 8. And number 8 was Hobgoblin issue number 3. Hobgoblin was a real fun issue. It really it really shows that we have a bunch of people that are trying to betray Kingsley in this particular issue, and we get Lily Holster in here as well. And it's just really clever to see, them celebrate this Hobgoblin Day. And this guy Missile Mate, he was the one that was joining the Goblin King and trying to expose Kingsley for what he is in the particular issue. And I thought it was really well done. And when there was funny moments here where he's just about to, betray what supposedly is on his side. He starts sweating profusely in his little mask and everything. And it was just so awesome. And you get to see him try to attack him here. But in the issue, it winds up becoming this hologram, and he was just outsmarted. And we get to see this brief battle between the Goblin King, which is Ulrich, and Kingsley. And let's just say that the Goblin King winds up failing epically in the particular issue, and it was so well done. Kingsley prepares for all contingencies. Against the Goblin King, and it was just so well done. And I really love this particular issue, and I love the series too. I think the first issue was the best. I thought the second one was okay, and this one, the third one, wraps it up tremendously. So overall, if you're looking for something good that's come out of Access, this was it. And I give the overall series a 4 out of 5 stars, and I gave this issue a 4 out of 5 stars as well. Fun series if you guys want to read a cool mini series. All right. So next, we're moving forward to number 7. And number 7 this week was Wonder Woman issue number 37. I thought this was a cool issue. I thought this was fun. I like the direction that the series is going because it's the only direction I know, if that makes sense. I didn't read Azzarello's run. I have some of my viewers out there asking me to read Azzarello's run and to see how I like it compared to this right here, which I am. I'm going to try it. I think if next time I get some extra money and there's a trade that I want to go out there and get, I think I will go get it because I want to give it an honest read. And I know I didn't last time. I read the first issue, and just because I didn't like the actual, what was it, artwork, I was turned off by it. So I want to try to give the story an honest chance. But anyway, Wonder Woman issue number 37 had to do the return of Donna Troy. Now, if you're a Donna Troy fan, you're going to be happy that she's back because she hasn't been back since the New 52 has started. And the whole thing, the whole reason why she is back is because the Amazons feel that Wonder Woman, Diana, is not up to rule because she has so many things on her plate. And Diana is having these conflictions too. She doesn't know which way to go. She's trying to hold all things together. Her mother's passed away, and it's tough to see her handle those struggles. I like David Finch's artwork. I always have. I liked it when he did Forever Evil. I like it here, and I thought the issue was fun. Again, some people may not like the artwork, but I enjoy this run, and I think it's really cool. I like the way Wonder Woman is drawn here, and I got good things to say about it. Was it the perfect issue? No, I don't think it was. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I felt that the flow of the book wasn't correct because if you read the last issue, it totally takes you to a different setting this time around in the beginning of the issue, and it didn't even continue where it last left off. You felt like you were missing an issue there, and there was different scenes in the book where Clark and Lois were battling, or Clark and Diana were battling, and then all of a sudden Wonder Woman's in a completely different setting. So it kind of just totally threw the flow of the book off. So that's where my gripe was on there. Again, at the end of the issue, you get to see the return of Donna Troy there, and she was being cooked up out of the cauldron, which I thought was kind of funny. And we'll get to see where it goes from here. I'm not exactly sure, but we'll see if this Donna Troy is going to be the new ruler. So we'll see. So again, after reading this one, I give this one a 4 out of 5 stars. All right, so moving forward now, we're going right outside the top 5, and I'm kind of disappointed it didn't get top 5, but there was just so many other books this week. And this time around, it was Miss Marvel issue number 10. Miss Marvel was a good book, solid read. This time around, we get to see her still dealing with this inventor character. He's like this crazy Thomas Edison parrot-like clone. Yeah, if that makes any sense to you, maybe not. But Miss Marvel is a great read. One of the best books that Marvel has come out with this year. Great original new type of character. She's an Inhuman, and Inhumans are really popular. That has to do with Marvel right now. Um, and we get to see her, try to help these kids that deal with this inventor character, and this inventor character wants to use these kids uh, to fuel or to power the world and kill off the kids. And keep the old people alive, which is kind of weird. And these kids are following him, thinking that they have this better purpose. And we get to see this inventor creature inside this big robot throughout the issue. You get to see Lockjaw in here trying to do battle with her. But the thing that I get the most out of Miss Marvel is she's just a bright character. She reminds me of a female Peter Parker, and she always has great things to say, positive things to say, and her character interactions here were very, very strong. Here's a cool page. Here may not be my favorite artwork in the world, but I do enjoy it. It grows on you after a while. But her character actions are really good. She tells these kids, what is your job? What do you do? Oh, I like to, do this. And she's like, oh, you can be an engineer. And he's like, I like to do everyone else's jobs. Oh, you can be president. So she's a very inspiring character, and I really like that about her. And that's what makes this book so much fun. By the time you wind up getting to the end of this issue, here's a creepy page of what this inventor creature looks like. He's like a parakeet. By the time you get to the end of this issue, again, he's very smart. He plans for all kinds of contingencies when Miss Marvel goes to stop him, and he has this big robot that goes after him that kind of looks like this weird looking robot. And yeah, and you get to see all these people that are powering that robot because he uses human kids as batteries. Weird stuff, though. Great and fun issue, though. I really enjoyed this book. This is a fun book. Give it a try. It is on issue 10. I think they might have a trade out for it by now. I'm not sure, but I enjoy it. So Miss Marvel gets a 4 out of 5 for me. You might be turned off by the artwork, like I said, but that, you get used to that. Okay, so now we're entering the top 5. And this week's top 5, number 5, goes to Fantastic Four issue number 14. So now you finally get to see the whole thing. Why or how why their whole lives have fallen apart. And it has to go to this guy, this villain, and his name is Quiet Man. And this guy you don't see his face because there's a reason there, because he always changes his face. He has this face recognition thing that always changes his identity. So you never knew what his identity was. And I thought it was really well crafted that they leave it up to you as a mystery on who this guy really is. But he has this affection for Sue Storm, and always has, even when they were back in college. And the whole reason why he wants the Fantastic to fall apart was because he did not get Sue Storm first. And I was just like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. So this is the whole thing. So you get to see the backstory between Quiet Man and what he tried to do to get Sue Storm's attention. And Reed Richards was always there first. And so you get to see that introduction or why he's telling his story on, again, to Reed on why he's doing what he's doing. And everything that has happened throughout this entire series, through all 14 issues of this series, is because of this Quiet Man guy. And he shows his facial recognition thing that he's invented. He doesn't even know what name he is anymore. He doesn't know his name. He doesn't know his identity. He doesn't know anything because he constantly changes everything about him. He changes his professions. He's a lawyer. He's an engineer. He's designed everything. And he's saying that everything that has had to do with the Fantastic Four's life, or a lot of the things, could have been because of him, and they never knew it. So I thought that was really, really well done there. And it's cool because you get to see all these little back histories of the Fantastic Four, like little moments in here, which I think really throws a good tribute to the series. The artwork overall is good in this issue. I really enjoyed, you get to see the hero reborn in this book once again through here, and it's all because of Franklin's pocket universe that he created, and it's explained to you in one of these panels. And if you paid attention to, I think, issue number 2, because that's when he talked to Sue Storm, this one little panel here, when the whole place blew up. Sue goes, "Your world, Franklin, what do you mean?" Because I guess he had a nightmare. I don't remember exactly. He goes, "The one I made up when you went away that time, where you and the other heroes were reborn." So that, again, that throws back to that Heroes Reborn thing. So that's how you get all these different Captain Americas and Thors and everybody else that's in this universe, because it's all from the Heroes Reborn universe made in the late 90s, which I thought was so well done. So if you caught that panel, you would have known that this was coming in the future. So really great stuff there. And then at the end, we get to see all kinds of hell breaks loose here. So great issue. Well done. Fantastic Four has been phenomenal. The next issue now continues the renumbering from where it last left off. So we'll get to see issue number 642 on sale in January. So the only Marvel title that's going back to its original renumbering, which I think is cool. All right, so now we're going on to number 4. And number 4 is another digital book this week, and that one goes to, let me get it to load, Batman Superman issue number 17. Guys, if you're looking for a good mystery book right now of finding out who is Superman's Joker, this is where it's at. And it started at issue number 16. There's somebody out there trying to hurt Superman's universe. And they don't know who it is. They think they have it figured out in this particular issue, but it winds up being Lobo, and it's not Lobo who's causing all the problems here. You get to see great character moments here between Lex Luthor and Superman. There's another great part here where Superman is trying to save Lex Luthor from being electrocuted. Look at this artwork. So if you guys are turned off by Superman and Batman, or Batman and Superman in the past, this is the series that you need to start now. Start it with the last issue, because that was a new story arc. You get the new artist on here. Very well done book. It's a complete mystery. Lois gets thrown into the mix as well, because they're trying to find who this particular person is. Hector Hammond is in this issue. Just really great character moments in here, and the pencils and the artwork was so well done. If there was not as many books, this could have been a very possible pick of the week. So guys, check out Batman Superman. It is good now. It is, the artwork is really well done, and the story is very well written. So after reading it, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Okay, so moving forward now, we're going on to the top 3. Top 3, number 3. We have Captain America issue number 2. That's right, fans. Captain America is very well done. Rick Remender is writing the book, and Stuart Monahan is the one who does the artwork in this particular issue. He was the one that did All New X-Men. That's when All New X-Men was really good, because it had that spectacular artwork. But the artwork is really good because this book opens up going back to Sam Wilson's past, on how his father passed away, which I think really helps the series, because it really gives depth to the character, and I really could appreciate that. And then the book goes into this great 2-page spread of Nomad and Captain America Sam doing battle against all new Hydra, and they're trying to rescue this kid that has that they think they took hostage, and they think that the kid was bad, or is a good guy, but really is an agent working for Hydra, and he's an Inhuman here. And the thing is if you spill his blood or something happens, he can make the human race sterile. So it's really crazy, this plot line that Zemo is coming up with in this particular issue. But great action scenes here with Sam, and he gets thrown into this crazy city where all these bad guys reside, and he goes battle against Crossbones in here, which was really well done, action packed. And then you get to see an appearance of a character that I didn't think was going to happen, and that was Misty Knight. And she's in deep undercover here, trying to figure out what's going on as well. So yeah, when she exposes herself here, you're like, holy crap, Misty Knight's back in the, Marvel because of her last series that got canceled. And and you wind up seeing that Nomad gets captured in this issue too, and Zemo winds up exposing his plan of who that character is, who Lucas is, what his inhuman ability is, and how he plans on taking over the world. And and at the end of this issue, guys, big spoiler here is that Zemo just winds up slitting Ian's throat, which is Nomad, and he winds up killing him. So you think. I'm not sure that they're going to plan on killing off this character that they spent the whole, what was it, last series developing. So I was shocked to see that happen. I was like, holy crap, are you killing him off just to kill him off to get that oh shit factor? Or is it really going to play a major role going forward into Captain America? But nevertheless, it drew my attention. Love the artwork, love the story. I like Sam Wilson as Captain America, and I think it's fun. So we'll see where this goes and how they handle this whole terror plot that's going about to happen to make all people sterile so they can't populate the world anymore. Really crazy stuff here. So after reading this one, I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. All right, going on to top 2 books of the week. And my number 2 book of the week, and I downgraded this book a little bit from my original review, and that was Batman, issue number 37, Endgame, part 3. Very well done book. Has all the elements of a creepy like Joker, not so gag like, but more of a creepy serial type of Joker. And it's great to see Batman and just Joker, not the whole entire Bat family here. In this particular issue, you get to see what happened. Kind of what left off last issue is it looks like that Bruce Wayne got exposed by this toxin that the Joker has come up with. And it's a perfect toxin, his best toxin ever, where he's exposed entire Gotham and they become all super evil people of themselves, which was really crazy. And we get to see Bruce Wayne. He kind of fights off the toxin and he gets rescued, I guess, by Alfred and Julia in the issue. And, Batman has to go and try to stop, what's going on here. And, he's talked to by Commissioner Gordon to try to, find out what's going on, and he's given a mission on where to go to this particular hospital. As Batman is flying around, he sees this creepy, eerie type of Gotham with all this looting and mayhem going on, and it's just crazy. You got people hanging out the windows. It's just awesome. The artwork was phenomenal in this book. Just everywhere, it's just so dark, and but it's just you got the crazy little smiles, people going through the doors. And I was just like, oh my god, that's just so weird. And you get to see Commissioner Gordon interact with the Joker in here as well. And it was just a awesome, really well done issue. And by the time you get to the end of it, we wind up seeing you wind up seeing that Commissioner Gordon thinks he shoots the Joker in the issue. He winds up shooting him, and Commissioner's all happy thinking that, the Joker's dead, and he's talking to Batman, and that's not the case, man. Joker winds up rising from the fire there, and yeah, kind of winds up doing his own damage. So crazy stuff. Really well done issue when it comes to the main story. Artwork was there, the story was there, the creepy factor was there. I like this story arc. I think it's the best story arc so far that comes with Batman since Court of the Owls, in my opinion. What made me downgrade this issue a little bit was the backup story. I find myself just not even caring about the backup story. I read the first two, looking to read this, and I was just like, I really don't care, I really don't. So I think that's why I downgraded a little bit. And I had a couple of viewers say that they were kind of confused about this issue. And you know what? After like looking at it and skimming through it again, I kind of get their points there. You know, in the beginning, how Bruce was rescued, it just wasn't explained well enough. You know, because he was left in a jail cell last issue, and this time he just shows up at wherever they're at the Batcave or whatever it is, and he's rescued and he's okay. You know, so it doesn't really explain that. So I don't know if Scott Snyder's, intention there was thinking that the reader should automatically assume that the Joker's not going to kill him, and release his toxin throughout the city. So we're a little bit unexplained, so I can understand that. So I downgraded it from 5.0 originally and to 4.75. So it's almost 5 stars there. All right. So sorry about this lengthy countdown this week, but this is a lot of books, and I just want to get the point across. All right, so this time around, number one book of the week, and it wasn't an overcomplicated plot. I think what I liked about it the most, it was the simplicity of the story, and I just enjoyed the hell out of it. And it had to do with Justice League issue number 37. The second part to this Amazon virus issue. I just love the book for what it is. It basically is a type of issue that's point A to point B. You get to see the apocalyptic world. You get to see the citizens in just complete chaos here, in complete chaos. 2 minutes. All right. You get to see the world in complete chaos, and the people are dying here, and it was just like, oh my God, what's happening? And then you get to see Batman and Superman. They go against this Patient Zero, and you find out who this Patient Zero actually is, and what happens is that the virus winds up, I guess it evolves, and it kind of mimics the other heroes here, and it kind of just like mimicked Superman's heat vision in the issue, and then it winds up, evolving wings like Batman and winds up flying away. And just let me just tell you that the artwork in here by Jason Fabok is phenomenal. I was just like in awe when I'm looking at this book. I'm just like, oh my God, this is just so beautifully done. And Jeff Johns just writes a great and fun story. And just the character interactions here were really good in this other dark moments in this book. We get to see Superman and Batman interact with each other, and Batman's just like, "Oh yeah, my hazmat suit's gonna protect me," and Superman's like, "Your hazmat suit? Did you just say that?" And he's like, "Yeah, it was Robin's idea." So it's just like you could just picture that. Other good character moments in here with Lex Luthor and his sister, Lena Lang. And I thought that was really well done. He kind of, he's kind of upset that this whole thing has happened, but not really. And we get to see our heroes chase the villain into Lex Corp, and you get Wonder Woman trying to stop the creature, and it was just so well done. I just had just a good time with it. Lex Luthor has a bounty on his head, and by the time we wind up getting to the end of the issue, you wind up seeing that based off of a huge explosion, Batman winds up getting exposed to this Amazon virus. So again, I just thought it was a really fun issue. There was nothing spectacular. There was, that it was no super complex story that, it was just a good solid issue from point A to point B. And when I got done reading it, I was just like, man, that was fun. I really enjoyed it. Reminded me of what comics really is about when you read a story and you really enjoy it. And no matter how many books you get, 25, 35, 45 books, if this is the story you enjoy and you get the most out of it, then this is your pick of the week, and this was my pick of the week. It just stood out so much for me, and I just had a blast reading it. So, and I can't wait to see where the story goes. So, Yeah, there you have it, guys. There's the countdown this week. Probably one of the longest countdowns of the year. But again, 17 books, and I just wanted to get that point across. So, guys, there you have it. There is the countdown for the week. You've seen the worst, you've seen the best, and you've seen everything else in between. So, guys, leave me your favorite comics of the week in the comments below, and what your worst comics were of the week. And don't forget, Road to Comic of the Year, the last day of voting for the your viewers' choice is tomorrow, and then we're going to go into the wild card round. So, guys, as always, thank you for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0, and until the next comic book review, fans, it's Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.